What is happening, guys? My name is Jamie and today we are doing another special video of albums I heard in September. Been a fantastic discovery in just discovering new bands. I have discovered a lot of new bands this month and I really want to share of the bands and albums I discovered this month. It'll be the same format, just quick speedy reviews. I'll give you the rating at the end of each album I sort of do the speedy review of. But you know what, I'm pretty excited because I have explored a band this month that I just couldn't help myself, and it's Opeth. To a lot of albums by Opeth, I just couldn't control myself. I needed to listen to Opeth because they are such an amazing band. Michael's vocals are just absolutely incredible. His cleans, his growls. Wow. There's only one album that I didn't really enjoy. I'll get to that soon. But let's now kick off with our first album of the month, which was Tool Fear Inoculum. Now, Tool Fear Inoculum, I did hear back in August. I feel like it was part of September as well. I mean, this is a fantastic album. I really do enjoy it. Love Maynard's clean vocals. But the star of this album is Danny Carey, along with Adam Jones. The guitar work in this is just fantastic. The climatic build-up, especially through songs throughout, like Numa and also Tempest. But it's the overall journey you are getting throughout this album. Sure, there are some complaints about this album, such as a much more meatier breakdown in Invincible, but overall, it's just a stellar album, and for this album now, I'd probably rate it a 9 out of 10. So the next album I checked out was the band Death and their album Leprosy. Wow, a fantastic album. I absolutely love it. Love Chuck's vocals, loving those guitar riffs and the awesome instrumentals. I mean, this is pure death metal at its best and I absolutely love it. Love the song Leprosy, a nice, really long song, but my favorite song from probably out of the album is Pull the Plug. I love that song. Overall, there are 8 songs on this album, but it's just a stellar album in my opinion. I love it. Chuck's vocals are incredible. Love his harsh, aggressive vocals. He's got amazing voice, and I'm really excited to check out some more Death. I don't know, guys, comment below if you want me to do an album review for Leprosy, because I loved it. Loved the long song at the start, Leprosy, but it just builds on to Born, Dead, and then Forgotten Past. Absolutely magnificent band they are. But Pull the Plug is just a amazing song, one of the best Death songs I've heard. But it's just amazing just discovering this band called Death. For this album, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, so the next album was Dimmu and their album Enthrone Darkness Triumphant. Fantastic album this is. It is. I may be a little bit harsh on Dimmu, but I gotta say that this album, thank God I heard this album because I nearly gave up on it. Didn't like For the Tid, their first album, and didn't really enjoy Stormblast as well. But thank God we got this album. Like Spellbound by the Devil is just a fantastic song, along with Tormentor Christian Souls. I just love how they incorporate the black metal elements along with the symphonic elements as well, and it really works in a mixture of extreme metal. I just love the overall atmosphere Dimmu are providing throughout this album, and for me, I'd probably give this a solid 8 out of 10. Probably The Night Masquerade is just a brilliant song. So I really enjoyed his vocals as well. His vocals are more harsher and are more aggressive throughout the other albums I checked out, which was Stormblast and that first album, which I absolutely did not like that first album. It was horrible. Yeah, I'd give this a solid 8 out of 10. It still didn't blow my socks off. I still think Puritania, that other album, was just a fantastic album, blew my socks off. This album is very good and it's close to fantastic. Okay, so the next album I checked out was Opeth's Damnation. Wow, okay. So with an album name like this, I thought this was going to be a very heavy album, but I was completely wrong, wasn't I? It's one of the softest Opeth albums I have heard, but damn, it is such an enjoyable album. It is. My first initial listen, I was a bit underwhelmed. Window Paint's a fantastic song. In My Time of Need is a magnificent song as well. That guitar solo in Window Paint is just fantastic. But what song really gravitated was In My Time of Need. I love that chorus. Ending credits, Hope Leaves, To Rid the Disease, and Weakness, all fantastic songs. It's a very strong album, very strong. And it's amazing how Opeth experiment with their sound. And Michael is a genius. Michael Activalve is absolutely a genius. It took me a while to really get into it, but once I finally got it, wow, okay, album deserves a solid 8 out of 10 because I friggin' loved it. It was great. And then we went to Opeth Heritage. This album is very interesting to me because I did not expect this, to be honest. I thought it was going to be another Opeth album. I'm going to see some really heavy guitars, awesome drumming, but my god, this was like something out of Yes or in the 70s prog. This was unbelievable. This was prog rock. How I do appreciate them changing their sound. They drastically changed their sound from Watershed, which I also listened to this month as well. It's a very interesting album, in my opinion. It is. The Devil's Orchid's a good song. Folklore is very interesting, very weird, and feminine as well. I don't know whether I enjoy this album or not. I've only listened to it twice, and I don't want to go back to it. I don't want to go back to this album, unfortunately. Folklore's a very interesting song as well. I don't know, it's going to take me a couple of more listens, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6. But for this album, I'd probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. Michael's vocals are fantastic. There are no growls. It's just basically clean vocals. But with this album, it's very different to Watershed. I really enjoyed Watershed, which I will get to in a few minutes. But yeah, this album is very, very different. Did not expect it. So the next album I checked out was Hybrid Nightmares and the album Almagest. I saw these guys during the Cradle Filth concert because they opened for Cradle Filth, and I decided to check out the album. Fantastic. You guys need to check it if you like death metal / black metal or extreme metal. It's a very enjoyable album. Terra Luna Mercuria are fantastic songs, along with Jupiter, a hit song. Nice guitar solos throughout this album, and I really do enjoy it. Well, I just feel there are slightly problems with the mixing throughout this album. It's still a very cool album to listen to. And there are strong synths throughout this album, which sort of remind me a bit like Amaranth, a stronger and heavier Amaranth. But I really do enjoy the elements of symphonics as well. It's a cool album. His vocals are really good. Best Bet is Jupiter. The song is just fantastic. But for this album, I'd probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. Okay, so the next album I checked out, or one song, was Bell Witch and their album Mirror Reaper. Oh, okay, so this song, or this album, well, it's basically one song, but this song is an hour and 24 minutes. It's Funeral Doom. I'm gonna say it's Funeral Doom, and it's very slow. It's just an amazing ride. It is. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I love the guitar work throughout this. What I was very disappointed in was the climax. There wasn't much of a climax. I was expecting a bigger climax at the end, but unfortunately just got a phase out. And that to me doesn't sit well with me. So for this album, I'd probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. The next album I checked out was Cannibal Corpse and their album Kill. Yeah, okay, so I'm not a really big fan of Cannibal Corpse, so decided to check him out. A friend and I were listening together. Time to Kill is a cool song. Make Them Suffer is a very good song as well. And Death Walking Terror, I really did enjoy that song. I just feel this is brutal death metal. And do I enjoy this genre or not? I'm not too sure. I think this is maybe a bit too brutal, but I can appreciate the guitar work, can appreciate the awesome drumming along with the vocals. But for me, I don't think this is the band that I can actually get into. And for me, I'm probably just gonna rate this album probably a 7 out of 10. The next band I checked out was Balfagor and their album The Last Supper. Oh, we have some very serious problems with this album. We do. I did not enjoy it. My mate didn't enjoy it at all. He hated it. I hated it. The Last Supper was the most decent song out of the album. A Funeral Without a Cry was good. Impalement Without Mercy was alright. March of the Dead, The Rapture of Coronation, Engulfed in Eternal Forest were all crap in my opinion. Drowned in Excrements they were okay. This album, it sounds the same. It sounds the same. It's the same old riffs, the same old vocals, and to me, it is not a very good album. So for this album, I'm probably giving this a solid 2 out of 10. Belphegor was a band that me and my mate wanted to find out more, and we checked out the next album, which was Lucifer Something. We couldn't even get past the first song. I don't know, there was something wrong with the production, but we did not enjoy this album at all. Okay, so the next album I checked out was Somewhere in Time, Iron Maiden. Fantastic album it is. I still stand by my 10 out of 10. I reacted to this album and I love it. Called Somewhere in Time is a fantastic song. Wasted Years, that guitar lead by Dave Murray. Whoa. Heaven Can Wait, Heaven Can Wait. But the Loneliness, the Long Distance Runner, still my favorite song off the album. I fucking love it. Stranger in a Strange Land, absolutely magnificent song. And Deja Vu is fantastic. And Alexander the Great, what an amazing guitar solo you get throughout that song. Adrian Smith's writing is just brilliant. I love this album, I really do. And it is a solid 10 out of 10. Alright, so the next album I checked out was Dream Theaters. The last Dream Theater album I checked out was Octavarium. And you know what? It's a hit and miss for me. It is. I don't think this is my favorite album. And I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't think it's my favorite album. Dancer Lies Within, These Walls, I Walk Beside You are fantastic songs. They are. I Walk Beside You is U2 inspired. Panic Attack is awesome. Sacrifice Sons, the masterpiece, and the masterpiece Octavarium. What I really do enjoy about this album is how out there they went, Dream Theater. Dancer Lies Within is a lovely ballad. I Walk Beside You is U2 inspired. And Never Enough is Muse inspired, definitely. James LeBrie incorporates these Muse inspired vocals, which I'm not a really big fan of. And Never Enough by far is the weakest song off the album. Sacrifice Son is just a fantastic song, and none other than the Octavarium. So I still stand by a solid 8 out of 10 for this album. I've already done a review for this, but it's Age of Excuse by Moi. Enjoyable album it is. I love it. It's black and death metal, black metal. I love this genre. I love these vocals. I really love the guitar style, the tremolo picking as well. It's a very enjoyable album. Age of Excuse 2 is fantastic. I think Age of Excuse 5 is my favorite of the album. It is not done yet. I love that. Absolutely. Love the overall intensity of this album. Very enjoyable album. Dynamic in range. Melodies seep in your mind here, and you can't get it. Can't get the melodies out of your head. Age of Excuse 1, wow, okay, got this awesome guitar lead that you just can't get out of your head. So I love it. So probably I'm gonna change this to a 9 out of 10 because I love this album. A band called Tribulation and the album down below. Look, a very enjoyable album. I did enjoy it, really did. It's sort of gothic, but incorporate those harsher vocals. It is an enjoyable album. It's a bit like Cradle of Filth, you could say, except it's slower than Cradle of Filth. But I really enjoy the intensity. The Lament is probably my favorite off the album, along with Nightbound and Lady Death. But I feel like this album does drag a little bit in my opinion. But it's still a cool album. Nice guitar solos throughout this album as well. So for that, I'd probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. Okay, so the next album we checked out was Satryricon Rebel Extravaganza. Alright, so this album, very cool black metal album. I really like Satryricon, and this has really cemented its place. Tied in Bronze Chains was a fantastic song. Filth Grinder was magnificent. End of Journey was such a weird song. It's got that atmospheric black metal, which you can't help but enjoy. His vocals are insane. Love the guitar work. Love the insane drumming. Wow, match made in heaven in my opinion. Very enjoyable album. Probably give this a solid 8 out of 10. My mate really wants me to get into Ghost. I don't really like Ghost, but I'm kind of enjoying the music now. So my mate is doing pretty well trying to get me into Ghost. But the first album I checked out by Ghost was the album Meliora. Wow, okay, so they are a really interesting band. I love From the Pinnacle to the Pit. Love that song. I really enjoy Mummy Dust from this album. Also with this album, you have this song called Square Hammer, which is in the deluxe edition, where I really did enjoy. I've got to say, guys, I didn't like Ghost at first, but I gotta say that this album has made me kind of enjoy their music. I've heard this plenty of times now. I gotta say that he is Mummy Dust, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, and even Spirit, along with Sirici. I don't know how you say that. This album is a solid album, it is, and it's very enjoyable. It's got that old sound, which you can't help but enjoy. It's got that 80s vibe, 70s vibe. Very interesting band they are. I gotta say, I'm gonna give this album probably a solid 8 out of 10. So the next album I checked out was again Ghost. My mate wanted me to check out another album. Infestissumam, whatever it is. Enjoyable. Another enjoyable album by Ghost. So this is a band that I didn't really like at first, but now I'm starting to actually enjoy their music. It is. Secular Haze is a fantastic song, along with Year Zero. What I really did enjoy was Gule Zombie Queen. That was interesting. Like, his vocals, Tobias's vocals, I think that's his name. Very interesting. So I really do enjoy his vocals. I don't know, maybe I am actually liking Ghost now, but for this album, probably give this a solid 7 out of 10. There are some weaker songs, like Death for Satan's Eyes I didn't really enjoy, and Body and Blood I didn't really enjoy as well. Overall, I did actually enjoy most of this. So the next album I checked out was Dawn of Infinite Fire, and a black metal band called Asagraum. Interesting band they are, because they are all-girl black metal band. I really did enjoy this album. I've only heard this twice, but damn, it really packs a punch. It's heavy, it's gritty, and it's a hell of a lot better than Balfagor. It is. So this is really a solid album. They Crawl from the Broken Circle. It's just a fantastic song on Abomination's Altar. Amazing. Beyond the Black Vortex. So heavy and gritty. Her vocals sound like a man. They do. Her vocals are just absolutely fantastic. If you like black metal, you gotta check out Asagraum. Damn, you will love it. You'll love the fast tremolo guitars. You'll love the drums. They're an all-girl band. But damn, they do pack a punch. Pack a punch and hit you right in the stomach. Okay, for this album, I'd probably give this a solid 8 out of 10 because I really did enjoy it. Alright, so the next album I checked out was a band called Skeletonwitch and their album Devouring Radiant Light. Okay, this album really surprised me. Fen of Shadows was a fantastic song. I thought they were black metal, but then they changed to thrash. Then they changed to black and death metal. I don't know what their genre is, to be honest. But the first time listening to this album, I was so impressed. They incorporate symphonic elements. They incorporate amazing guitar leads. They incorporate amazing drum fills as well. Incorporate amazing vocals. This album is perfect in my opinion. I absolutely loved it. There's not one bad song off this album. Not one bad song. And for this album, I gotta say, When Paradise Fades is just a fantastic song, along with The Vault, which is one of my favorite songs. I'm gonna have to say that this album gets a solid 9 out of 10 because it's such an enjoyable album. I've heard this about 5 times now, and this album does not get old. Okay, so the next album I checked out was Hours of the Nightingale and the band Trees of Eternity. Now, this was like Swallow the Sun, except you have a female version singer, which was Aliyah, who unfortunately died. Her vocals are just so angelic in this. It's very doomy. It's got that Swallow the Sun feel. Eye of the Night is fantastic. Broken Mirror is a fantastic song as well. I really did enjoy it. It's fantastic sleeping music. Go check it out. I'd give this album probably a solid 8 out of 10 because this is like Swallow the Sun female style. Very enjoyable. Basically the whole entire band from Swallow the Sun, apart from Miko, is in this album. If you like Swallow the Sun, you will love Trees of Eternity. So the next album I checked out was Opeth Watershed. Oh, what a fantastic album this is. It is. Michael's vocals are just fantastic. His growls are incredible along with his cleans. You can tell they're really changing the sound here. Heir Apparent, The Lotus Eater is just a fantastic song. I love the ballad Burden. That guitar, especially at the end, how he's just fucking around and it's going out of tune. Porcelain Heart, I've definitely heard that song before. Heard it on live stream. But Hessian Peel, Hex Omega, this album is just perfect in my opinion. One of my favorite Opeth albums. Checking this out, Watershed. Oh, what a fantastic album. The Lotus Eater is such a beautiful song along with Burden, but Heir Apparent, wow. Or even Coil with the female vocalist, wow, absolutely fantastic. For this album, it's a solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, I gotta say. I don't think it's as good as Blackwater Park or Still Life. I still think it might be better than Ghost Reveries. This album is right up there in my opinion. The next album was Iron Maiden, Fear of the Dark. Okay, this was a very enjoyable album. There's full review coming next week for Iron Maiden. I did Be Quick or Be Dead is fantastic. Loving the AC/DC style by Iron Maiden. From Here to Eternity sounded very much like AC/DC. Afraid to Shoot Strangers is just fantastic. What I really did enjoy is how Bruce's experiments with his vocals. Very different Iron Maiden album, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was something very different. The Fugitive, Chains of Misery, and Weekend Warrior. This has an interesting song as well. Sort of a glammy metal song. I really did enjoy it. To close off the album though, Fear of the Dark. So I might hold off with my ranking for Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark, but you damn well know that I've really enjoyed this. The next band was a band called Sludge. Esoteric Malacology. Alright, so this was a pretty good album. War Squids was an awesome song. Crop Killer was fantastic as well. It's sort of technical death metal. I have to definitely listen to it a few other times. Listen about twice. I really did enjoy the guitar work throughout this album. I'm gonna give this probably a solid 8 out of 10 because it's very enjoyable. Alright, so the next album I checked out was Northern Chaos Gods and their band Immortal. This was one of the most friggin' fun black metal albums I've ever heard in my life. The bouncy guitar riffs, the galloping drums. It is so damn fun, this album. It is Mighty Raven Dark. What an amazing 10-minute song that was. Northern Chaos Gods was brilliant. Gates to Blast Cry, or whatever you want to call it. Fucking magnificent album this is. It's a very enjoyable album. Fun, galloping riffs. It's just fun black metal. Mate was right. It was fun black metal. My mate wanted me to check out Immortal, so we did. And wow, it's just fun. It's a fun black metal album. For this, they don't take it too seriously. These vocals are just fantastic. For this, I'd probably give this a solid 9 out of 10 for this album. This was brilliant. Alright, the next album I checked out was Opeth and their album Orchid. This is the first ever Opeth album. I wanted to check it out, and I was so surprised. Michael incorporates those black metal vocals. This sort of sounds black metal. The production overall is very good. Under the Weeping Mood, I gotta say, is just probably one of the best Opeth songs in my opinion. In the Mist She Was Standing, incredible. The Twilight Is My Robe, wow, absolutely fantastic. And even the last song, Apostle and Triumph, I just love it. It sounds like Opeth. You got the acoustic guitar moments in an Opeth song. It's not Opeth without that clean guitar. They were 19 or something when they wrote this. It's just incredible. It gets a solid 9 out of 10, guys. This is one of my favorite Opeth albums. Orchid is just an incredible album. I loved it. So the next album I checked out was Blut or Snord and their album Hallucinogen. Interesting album, very interesting. I'm not a really big fan of this album, unfortunately. It's got the black metal elements, got the atmospheric black metal, but the vocals, I could say this is sort of an instrumental band because the vocals are so distant. Silbiges is a nice song. It is a very nice song. There's a lot of chanting within this album. I wouldn't say it's my favorite album of the month. It's an instrumental album along with vocals in the distance. It was a very interesting album, very weird, and I don't know. I'd probably give this a solid 6 out of 10. I don't know. Gotta listen to it more. I checked out Opeth's new album as well, but there will be a full album review this week. But I also checked out a band called Katatonia and their album Brave Murder Day. Look, I wasn't a very big fan of Katatonia on that last album I checked out with the cleaner vocals. I didn't really enjoy that album. It was something else. My mate gave me another album to check out. I didn't really enjoy it. But this, holy crap, I really enjoyed this album. Really did. Michael's on vocals. That's probably why I enjoyed it. It was sort of like a doomy Opeth. I absolutely loved it. The Brave is a magnificent song. Rain Room. Friggin' enjoyed this album. Michael's vocals are just fantastic. Incorporates harsh vocals along with aggressive vocals as well. It was doomy Opeth and I loved it. A 9 out of 10 I give this album. Very enjoyable. Alright guys, so that's about all the albums I checked out. I don't know if I missed anything. I'm not too sure. But that's basically all the albums I checked out. So guys, link will be in the description for all the albums I checked out in September, and you can always check them out yourself. So comment below what albums you're going to check out. And also, so keep the discussion going in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.